Warning! This podcast is all a dream.
Only half of it's a dream.
Half of it's a nightmare.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Arrow Season 5, Episode 8. Invasion! Exclamation mark. I'm your host, Clio, and with me I have Dom and Rachel, who made me almost choke.
Sorry.
It's okay, it was funny. I didn't notice, but this was the 100th episode of Arrow, which they timed the crossover very accordingly, I suppose.
That's very interesting to me.
Yeah, and it honestly explains a lot, because 100th episodes are usually like, let's have a little look back on how the show's...
See, now, without seeing Legend so far, and not counting Supergirl, because the majority of that episode had very little to do with the crossover, I feel like this was the weakest of the crossover in terms of the crossover story. But in terms of its own story, this was the strongest episode.
Yes.
So I really liked it and didn't like it, and it was really weird, but now that I know that it was the 100th episode, it explains everything for me, and that makes me like this episode way more than I actually did.
And I didn't get to say it on the Flash podcast, because we had a lot of discussion. Mm-hmm. But the Flash episode felt a little too crammed. Like it probably could have done with an extra half hour. Like that would have been a great 90-minute episode.
I agree.
This one felt more of a, I didn't feel rushed going through it.
It felt like an Arrow episode.
I had to glue my eyes to it. I was like, I can't look away. I'm gonna miss something.
Like the Flash episode did feel like a Flash episode.
Yes.
But like you said, it was very crammed and packed. This actually felt like an Arrow episode. You know, like, instead of the typical Arrow flashbacks that we get Arrow side world, you know?
See, I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
So, it followed the format really well. Yeah. It followed Lost.
I've noticed when they do the crossovers, I mean, they've done with Arrow and Flash, they've done them a lot. But I've noticed with the Flash crossovers that I've actually watched, they're the people that come over from Arrow, like, you know, Ollie and Diggle and stuff, it's like they almost get to exercise their comedic, you know what I mean? They get to exercise that part, but then when they come over to it's more drama.
But see, like, previously in the flashbacks too, I've always felt like the Flash episodes felt like Arrow episodes, and the Arrow episodes felt like Flash episodes. And I think that was intentional to kind of set the tone for the other shows, where this one felt very much like their own, and I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So we get right in, like, literally right in the dream world, and they're living in the mansion still. The whole family's together.
Matrix, man. It's the Matrix.
It is.
It's basically the Matrix.
You see the glitches in the Matrix too, as things get triggered in their memories.
It's the deja vu.
Yeah. Just a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everything wasn't green, though.
Deja vu.
Everything wasn't green.
It's true.
No. It was yellow.
And it was sideways. Oh no, but no, you're right. Because on the iPad later, like,
it was all like this.
Code,
and then when they got sucked up to it was yellow. It reminded me of the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just different color.
I'm surprised that Cisco didn't point that out, or that Mr. Terrific didn't point that out.
Yeah. Oh,
I think they were too much geeking over the alien tech they had.
That's true.
For sure. Oh. Your tech guy quotes movies? How unoriginal.
Best line of the episode.
You saw it in his face. He was so proud of himself, like the hipster he is for doing it first.
Oh, great.
And we thought that, at least I thought, everything last episode, the Flash episode, happened so quickly that I assumed Felicity got zapped up too, but she didn't, and she takes Cisco into the Arrow Cave, and he does his vibe thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was it was a whole fantastic, like, meeting all the recruits and everything, and, like, Cisco just walking through the place like he owns it, like he's better than all of them. Like, not that, I don't think that he really thinks that, but that's just his attitude, you know?
I mean, the suits on the wall, he made most of them.
Right.
To be fair, he's contributed a lot to this Arrow Cave.
It's like he walks in there and pretends he's a god, you know?
Yeah, he did, and then Renee just fucking kind of
just shat all over his parade.
Yeah. And I
was like, okay, I kind of, yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. Good for him? Good for Renee?
Yeah.
Why?
Someone need to take him down just a little
bit. Just a peg. Just
one
peg. One peg.
He was being racist. Good for him for being racist?
No, not that. None of that.
No, then what?
Taking Cisco down a peg.
And just after Cisco came in with, like, oh, you know, I'm like that attitude that he, like Badam was saying, like he was better than everyone. And Renee wasn't being racist. He was just taking him down a peg. And it was just like, good for you. Someone needs to do that a little bit.
He said, oh, you're one of those, referring to him being a meta.
Metahumans are not a race.
Yeah, they're not a race.
Whatever, he was racist to Supergirl, because Supergirl's Kryptonian, and she's an alien, so he was being racist. Anyway, it's metaist.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll accept that. That's what he was.
He's being metaist.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Well, when you have bad experiences, people, you know, with the metahumans are an alien race or something like that.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, granted, at the end, he changed his views, which is good, but
I don't necessarily want to say it's racist or metaist or whatever. It's the way you're conditioned. Like, say for example, you know,
it's the fear of the unknown.
Well, let's say for example, because I'm on the train. I'm not spoiling anything, but I'm on the train thought of like Westworld, right? You go into the thing where you have like the Indians running around, and let's say your only experience growing up, you have a bunch of savages. You watch them like pillage and destroy villages. They're killing everybody around you, like whatever. You think, because you have no other knowledge of this, that's how they all are. Until you meet one.
You just described racism, though.
No. But until you meet one that's nice, you know, whatever, and you do that. Racism today, I may be describing ancient racism, but racism today is totally different because you're not sheltered from the world, right? You don't have information where... No, you can look it up, anything, like... You could see how people are, you see them on TV, you see them doing all kinds of things. You see that everybody is not like that. It's a totally different thing from, you have technology now.
Yes,
you know
we have
better.
Technology.
It's not necessarily racism, it's prejudice against.
Yeah, that's probably a better term.
You're prejudiced against a race until you really get to understand them most of the time. I mean, everyone has preconceived notions of what different types of people are like, whether it's a race or
and that's more stereotyping
it's a stereotype,
right.
So it's more prejudiced than racist.
Yeah, because I don't think stereotyping is racist at all. Like that's just a stereotype. So I think what it comes down to is just our definitions of what prejudice, stereotype, and racism are, and they're not all the same thing. I personally don't think
they're close. I mean,
they're similar. There's similarities in them.
They run the same parallels, and there is overlapping. So there is lots of gray areas.
Right. So I think that's what it is. He was just prejudiced against them. I don't think he's racist against them.
Not gonna probe that any further. But he does believe that superpowers are evil.
Right.
But we don't know his background either, so something could have happened in the past.
Yeah, you're right, we don't know. There's nothing that...
We don't have anything on
he has any...
Except for he was in the military. And he was
honorably
discharged. Yeah.
Was it dishonor?
I think it was dishonorably.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he
because he tortured the dude, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Diggle brought it up, and I was dishonorably. I cannot speak big words.
It's okay, that's a tricky word. I also stumbled over it.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
But we'll see if he has any history with the meta. There's no...
I think it's going to be revealed that he is.
Indication of it. But it's... I mean, he's also blaming Barry for all the bad metas that showed up. And, you know, he's like, you showed up, and all these bad metas showed up, and I'm like, they all got affected by the same thing. It wasn't because Barry showed up; the other ones showed up.
Yeah,
they all showed up at the same time.
He was a result of
yes
what happened. So, yeah. But you know,
when
like
he was going, he's going, you know, everything. When you showed up, Barry, that's when things went out. And then he goes, and then Supergirl, you show up, and there's aliens. I was like, didn't you get her because there were aliens first?
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, the new recruits weren't involved in that first mission.
Yeah, no, I know.
So they didn't get the same briefing that everybody else did.
Yeah.
And my God, Curtis was so funny. Like, we've seen him be a tryhard in, like, this season, but with Cisco, I feel like he's trying to impress him, too.
Before we go on, Sally just says, was it just me, or did it feel like it was just out of the blue with Wild Dog's anti-meta thing? And I 100% agree. I just feel like it came out of nowhere, because we've never seen him really express anything to the Ragman. Right? And Ragman is like...
But he's not a meta.
He's not, but it's like superpowers. Right, so it's similar. It's very similar.
But we haven't spent very much time with him, and we haven't interacted, and we haven't dove into his personality yet.
Right,
I mean,
but if we saw like some apprehension to work with Ragman with him in the past, this would make a little more sense. Even though it's not the same thing, it would just be like... What do you do? Okay. And, I don't know. It came out of the blue. That's what it felt like.
It kind of did, but, I mean, the way they went about it, it kind of was like, at first I thought, he just doesn't like working with other people. He's antisocial kind of thing. That's just him being
we already know he doesn't.
No, we already know that. Yeah, we already knew that, and that's what I thought it was at first. But, he probably hides it well.
Yeah.
He's one of
we haven't seen him
but this just might have been that straw that broke that camel's back, where he just went like poof.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you.
And we haven't really seen him interact with any real metas before, like Cisco's the first.
Yeah.
And I mean, we knew he's a grumpy person and not genuinely not nice.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a happy person.
Yeah, all that prejudice I didn't see coming.
Yeah, for sure. It's just total left field, and it felt really weird. And then the way he just like accepted them too, like in the end, like, yeah, I get they saved his life, but it's like he accepted them too quickly as well.
Well, his acceptance of them was actually a backhanded compliment, because he in the same breath thanked them and was like, fuck you, you don't get an apology, in the same breath. So it's like, hey, kinda
well, he said thanks. I guess you're not all bad, or something like that. And somebody that's that prejudiced, I don't feel would come around that quickly, no matter what.
Well, and I think that depends on who you are as a person.
Yeah, and their background with them, the background for the cause of the prejudice in the first place.
Yeah, as a person, deep down, he wants to do good, and I think seeing somebody do good, no matter who or what they are, really hit a chord with him. Like, they were very badass, and he is one who appreciates badassery.
Oh, come on, that WWF clothesline that Supergirl and Barry set up.
Listen, I know that lady was a cyborg, but holy shit, they went a little ham on that.
It was like watching a TLC match or some shit.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
And I think it's also because that actress was very skinny, so I was just like, oh, you're gonna snap her in half,
right?
So, like, literally bounced her off the ropes, threw her at her tag team partner, and they literally tagged in. They tagged in.
Yeah,
it was a WWF match. I don't care what WWE, whatever it is now.
Nerds.
Yeah,
they're such nerds. I love it.
Oh, sorry, I will forever call it WWF just because.
Yeah, I will too, but I just want to clarify what I'm talking about, because anyone who's new into watching it may not know it as the WWF.
I'm honestly the opposite, because I grew up donating to the World Wildlife Fund, so WWF is the World Wildlife Fund to me.
I grew up knowing about both, and I did both as well. But the World Wildlife Fund was always the World Wildlife Fund, and WWF was always wrestling to me.
Yep. I always knew the difference, but I just found it funny that different tangent. I was going to
Had
say,
a whole
I've
lawsuit. That
after-
was very funny.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Cisco does his vibe thing. He sees the ship. I love the comment that it's like, it's very Star Trek, J.J. Abrams style. And honestly, when he said that, I was like, yo, you're right. It looks like the Romulan ship from the first reboot movie.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
I've actually seen that Star Trek. That's like the only Star Trek thing I've ever watched.
Oh, cool. Then you know exactly
I
what
knew
I'm talking
exactly
about.
what, yeah.
Yeah, the bad guy ship.
Yep.
Very similar. He just whips out the piece of the tech he took from the ship. And Felicity and Curtis's face were just fantastic.
Yeah.
This is the best day of my life. We're hacking alien tech.
I know, right?
Too bad they're dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Curtis. He just wanted the aliens to be nice.
Don't we all?
Don't we all not want them to invade and destroy humanity?
Sally's like, can we call them the Geek Squad now?
Yes. Geek
Yeah.
Squad.
You gotta get them all Best Buy shirts.
Oh my god.
No, please don't.
Blue's not really their color.
No, not really.
Isn't Geek Squad wear like black and orange or something?
Oh. I was thinking you said Best Buy shirts.
Yeah,
Those are blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geek Squad wears black and orange.
Whatever.
Yeah, they're
don't know.
Halloween.
They're Halloween.
Which getting all these superheroes together, in an interview, Melissa Benoist, or the girl who plays Supergirl, she just felt like Halloween on set the whole time. Like, you have all these people together in costumes. You know, she was loving it. So
somebody said that the actors who played Barry and Kara were in the like green room in full costume playing Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And like awesome. I imagine that in my head, and I was like, it's perfect.
That is awesome.
That's what they would do if they hung out.
Yeah.
I also like that Curtis's translation technology is called 3PO.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
That was fantastic.
And then he's like, you started doing the line. I'm like, oh, dude, just
him and Cisco basically high-fived over that one.
Mm-hmm.
He was expecting no one to get it because the way he presented it, and he's just like, "You get it, guys? You get
it?" Oh man, there was something that Cisco was super impressed about. Was it the 3PO thing?
Yeah.
I thought it was something. It was okay. I don't know why I thought it was something else.
There may have been something else, but he was definitely really impressed over that. I know that for sure.
Yeah. I honestly, my one criticism of this episode is that we didn't really get a lot from Cyberwoman. She showed up, got her ass kicked, and
yeah,
that was it.
Yeah.
We didn't even get that much. I mean, they said her name, Dr. Linda something, but like I did remember it. It went by too quick.
Yeah,
right.
they
because I mean, it wasn't about her, so
they're like doctor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Brian said, "I love the line about Oliver and Company."
Yes.
Oh yes. It took a second. Like I walked past somebody else watching it, and then I heard it. I was like, "Oh wait, I get that joke now." I didn't get it the first time.
I love the fact that he had to try to explain it. Not the Billy Joel.
Yes.
It's like I think we get. If you have to explain your jokes, it might not be the right audience.
I don't know.
Well,
sometimes part of the joke is explaining it really poorly too.
It's that too. Yeah.
And I mean, that is definitely something that Cisco and Curtis have in common, that they do explain themselves after they've said it. Especially because probably nobody knows what they're talking about.
No.
Mm-mm. So, in their little matrixy dream world, Laurel and Ollie are engaged. Some of those scenes made me vomit in my mouth, but it's okay. I got past it. Sarah's not an assassin, but she makes a joke about it, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
They made jokes about things like that throughout the thing. about. It's just like, oh my god, it's like subconsciously they know.
A building that my not fiance doesn't own.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I honestly loved seeing all the characters again.
Yeah, it was great. I know that Moman in chat had said that I was a bit annoyed that there was no Slade. Sally said that I was under the impression that he's under the Deathstroke costume, and he said, yeah, but I would have liked to see him unmasked. I do agree.
They probably couldn't get the actor.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the actors were unable to come back for it, which is kind of unfortunate when knowing going into like this season, we're like, oh, this is the 100th episode, let's try to get these people back. I can't say no effort was made because we don't know that, but they may have just been busy, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, Malcolm was there, Dark was there, Nell Raish. I was a little disappointed in that, but probably couldn't get the actor again.
Yeah.
But most of the actors who weren't there, they mentioned.
Or
they said Tommy or CGI them. Tommy was over in Chicago doing medical stuff. Oh my god, wait! I just realized that's a reference to Chicago Med because that actor is on Chicago Med.
Yeah.
I didn't get that until just now. Oh. I didn't get that!
That's great.
He's on Chicago Med right now.
That is great.
Sorry, that hit
also,
me.
When they were doing the fighting, they brought back all these people from their past. At first it didn't click with me who Ray was fighting. That was like, oh, it's the guy that killed his fiance.
Was one of Slade Wilson's crew soldiers. Okay.
That killed his fiance. So his demon.
But Clio, like you were saying, oh yeah, he's over there. That reminded me of like what Fuller House did to explain the Olsen twins not being on the show. Oh yeah, she's in New York working on her new clothing line or something. They said that's why she couldn't show up for the and they said it right in the episode, and then they like deadpan looked in the camera and broke the fourth wall like the entire cast. And it was just like, really? And that made me laugh though.
They also did the clothes one.
Yeah.
Where Kimmy was buying clothes for her daughter. Yeah. That was another one.
So it was like, I love when shows do those kind of flashbacks. So the Chicago thing. Yeah. I mean,
I totally derailed my own brain with that.
Yeah, that's
revelation. I don't know where I was going with that.
I love when shows do that though.
Yeah. Oh, I think I was gonna say that Manu Bennett is a pretty in-demand actor, so he's probably doing stuff.
Yeah.
Who plays Slade Wilson?
Yep.
I mean, I did like seeing John Barrowman come back as Malcolm.
Oh my gosh, yes.
See, and when you have characters like,
I kind of miss him.
Like Damien Dark, right? For the people who are watching all of the shows, it didn't really feel special to have him back because we're dealing with him right now in Legends. But if you're somebody who only watches Arrow, that was a treat for you. It's just like, oh yeah, cool. We get him back, kind of thing. So I respect the fact that they still did that, and like not having seen Laurel at all, like in Arrow for this whole season, right? It made that more impactful to see her again.
Yeah, I loved the fact when her and Sarah first, after Sarah gets out of the car, and they hug, and she goes, "Oh, that's a really nice night. What is it?" She goes, "It's a canary." And she just I thought she ripped it. At first, I thought she ripped it off her neck.
No, and that was the first glitch we got.
From Sarah.
From Sarah, yeah. Oh, I think it was
no, because Ollie was having glitches when he was sitting there when Thea gave him the stone.
Yeah, the arrowhead.
Yeah, that was before. Okay, yeah, you're right. That's what I wanted to say. While we didn't get the actor who played Walter, who was Moira's second husband, they did mention him. It's like, oh, what about Walter Steele? He could take over the company.
Well, they don't like him.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh, that was cool. I like that they gave him a nod, even though they didn't put him in the episode.
I didn't realize how much I missed his mom being on the show until this episode.
there's just so many throwbacks. Like, you look at even the title card, like right here, where you see them going through all the different intros,
Yeah.
you know, all the different arrows and everything. Was just, it was really, really cool. I loved all the throwbacks, and now realizing that this was the 100th episode just makes all of that much, you know, more special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love the fact that he had enough flashbacks to remember where the Arrow Cave was.
Oh, yeah.
And then even Mo Man and Chat is saying, you know, it was nice seeing the old Arrow suit again.
Yes, Diggle, because Diggle wore that one in season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was somewhere there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that.
I was just going to say, Felicity was very sassy, man, and very, we have a, she was, right?
I actually want that pop vinyl of Diggle in the Arrow suit. It's like extra money because it's a little rare, and I'm just like, I want that. But yeah, no, Felicity was just like, don't you dare take that mask off.
And well, he did because, you know, he knew who he was.
Yeah.
And I think,
the thing that really broke the illusion was Diggle and Ollie's friendship.
Yeah.
Because that's the first time that Ollie didn't just brush it off. He was like, no, this is wrong. I know you.
And I think it might have been maybe the touching, and maybe, I don't know, just something like that, you know, that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the mental and the heart connection between the two of them, but actual connection, touching, physical.
Yeah. And it's not just Ollie's relationship to Diggle, but it's probably Ollie's relationship to the Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seeing the suit.
Oh, well, we saw, you know, his reflexes when the vase, and then when his dad and them were getting mugged. We saw that his instinct, that instinct was to protect, to resort back to being the Arrow, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sarah's instinct, too, when they were getting attacked by Slade, she just stabs him, steals his sword and stabs him.
And she's just like, what? How did I
do God.
That? She was like, how did I know how to do that?
And the reaction was priceless. Also, can we agree those bridesmaids dresses were fucking ugly?
All bridesmaids dresses are ugly. I'm sorry.
No, they're not. They're not all ugly. Those ones were extra ugly.
Well, see, I can't say mine were ugly because I let my sister, who is my maid of honor, pick out her own dress. So if it was ugly, it was up to her. It was all on her. It was her problem, not mine. I gave her the colors and she ran with it. But yeah, most bridesmaids' dresses are hideous because usually, even though the bride doesn't try to, in her mind, the bridesmaids can't look better than me. The bridesmaids can't look better than me.
Honestly, I don't agree. There are some very nice looking.
There are some very nice dresses, but not very many brides pick them.
Yeah. This is stirring up. People are asking now. What Brian says? What happened to Walter? I looked up really quick, like in actual time. Walter's still alive. He was not killed.
He is.
Yeah.
He showed up at Moira's funeral. Was I think the last time we saw him, and then it was mentioned that he was running, that they wanted him to run for mayor, and he declined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he after Moira's death, he went away because it was too much for him to deal with.
Yeah.
He just left.
Yeah. So in present day, in that real timeline, he's just gone somewhere.
Still alive. He's just gone. Yeah.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
So I like the backgrounds of this episode too, because not only do we see, Smoke Industries, which is the exit, the thing that doesn't really belong. We see a Merlin Corp building. I was like, oh, that's still a thing.
And there's talk about Palmer buying the company too. Yes. So like they included all of the changeovers, And
because I guess in this dream world, Merlin didn't try to destroy half the city.
Or join the League of Assassins.
No, he already joined.
Yeah, I guess that.
Well, he might not have. It depends.
He did drop the line where it's like, your father should be proud of the woman you've become.
I know, right?
Sort of looks at him like, what? But having the Smoke Industries building in this dream world makes me wonder, have the aliens seen the future?
I don't know. I don't think that this is the aliens projecting this on them. I think this is their own self, their like their presence of mind, of their wants and their of a life where all of this didn't happen the way it unfolded, that they're collectively sharing this conscience.
I agree, but I think there's some part of this that had to be engineered and constructed by the aliens in order for.
I don't necessarily think the world
they're
was.
basing it on their, because they implemented a fail-safes. You know, they had their enemies, their demons fight them, so they made that happen.
They intruded on their subconscious.
Right, but so I don't think they went in and selected and been like, this is your enemy, I'm going to put it. I think the failsafe is their enemy. It's their enemy is programmed, and their consciousness decides who is their enemy.
Yeah, but
if the aliens know who their enemies, because the aliens went into their head. They know their memories. They know their.
Yeah, but I don't think they individually programmed and like, your enemy is Slade Wilson. I think it's just like what your inner demon, the person that you feel is your enemy, becomes your enemy in this world.
Stop, hold on, let me agree with you.
Okay.
I think that because Sarah and Ray went into the future where Smoke Industries existed, so maybe that came from their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that just happened to be the exit.
Yeah.
So you're right.
And Felicity's kind of the common ground between them all.
Everyone, yeah.
Outside of Ollie, who's in this weird shared So Ollie's the ground of all of them. He's the glue to all of them in reality. But when they're all their minds are gone, Felicity is kind of that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right. I can take it.
Well, we all know that they intruded on their subconscious, so they were hunting for information.
Yep.
They probed around their subconscious for information, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
And Gideon decodes their language or whatever and says that it was they created a secret weapon with the knowledge from their heads. Which is not the direction I expected that to go. I thought that they were going to be like experimenting on them to like test their, I don't know, resolve.
Well, they also made the connection that they took them and they didn't take any of the metahumans. They took the actual humans.
And I mean, Nate says because you wouldn't be able to fight back, and I mean, I'm not sure how true that is.
Maybe they needed like pure humans. Sounds really bad.
It might have also been specifically those 5. Their knowledge. We're gonna. Well, I guess we'll find out when we see what this secret weapon is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting that the stuff they used to probe their minds was the same tech Ray uses to control the suit.
Yeah.
The Atom suit.
Yeah, the Dwarf Star.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's powered by Dwarf Star, but the mental technology he used, it's the same.
It's so who's giving them this technology?
Ray.
The Dominators?
Ray. Future Ray.
Well, the Dominators go to planets. They test people. They've probably just stolen a bunch of different technologies from a bunch of different worlds.
Possibly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did take it from Ray.
We're gonna find out. I'm completely hypothesizing. This isn't real, but they're totally gonna find out that in Legends episode that the Wave Rider goes back in time and then Ray gets abducted and they steal all his thoughts.
Oh, stop! How many times has people freaking stolen the Atom suit? It's gotta stop. It's happened 3 times already. It's gotta stop.
Maybe with Cisco's tweaks that he's gonna do, they'll implement some failsafe that it always returns back to Ray.
Please. Or if it gets stolen, it shrinks to a size where you can't fuck with it.
Yeah.
You can't bind it, and then it goes back to Ray.
Yeah, it shrinks down to atom level and then drives back to Ray. It'll take 100 years to do so, but it will do it.
No, I really loved seeing the possible scenario. It was kind of nice. It was nice just seeing how it all came about. And then it was the way they did the whole, like, I want to say like rips in memory, because that's kind of what it was. It was like the rips in their memory coming through. I think they did it really well. It could have came out really cheesy and really bad, but the way they did it, I think worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think my favorite was just the really heartfelt, like, goodbyes they all gave Laurel.
Yeah.
Mine that kind of I first tugged at my heartstrings was the interaction between Thea and Ollie when he was trying to get her to go. And I was just like, oh, I totally understand where she's coming from, because, you know, just have like one more day with someone that passed on would be a blessing. And to have them back, even if it's not really them, is.
What about...
Well, for that one, she's like, I'm gonna stay, and I started screaming at my television.
I knew she
didn't quite have the same reaction.
I knew she was coming around, but just
because it was a choice at that point. It's a choice between her fake parents or her real brother, and as much as she missed her parents, and that was her snap decision. When Ollie was like, "Okay, see you later," you know, that was when reality kind of sank in. Is like, well, now I'm gonna actually lose my brother, kind of thing. So
it's not just her brother, though.
No, I know. It's the team.
You know, Sarah's like a sister.
Lance,
Captain Lance, he's not a captain anymore. Quentin's like a father. So she has three of them already, but you know,
it's like
whatever.
as much heartache she's gone through. And I mean, she tried to say, well, maybe this is your reward for being so good. And he's just like, no.
It's not why we do this.
This is not why we do this, you know? And I think she had to weigh the fact that sometimes things happen, like he said, and they happen, and you have to move on, and you have to rebuild your life. And you're constantly rebuilding your life and moving on.
What about that little scene where it was Sarah and Laurel, and they were talking, and it seemed like Sarah was almost flirting with Ray for a little bit there, and Sarah goes, "Yeah, he's kind of hot." I was just like, "Oh, what does this mean for Legends now?"
Well, I think the thing was they were staring at each other dumbfounded because in the back of their minds they knew each other.
Right.
But Laurel interpreted that as, "Oh, you're drooling over him."
Well, Sarah did say, "Well, he's kind of hot."
Oh, she
Sarah
also
has gone both ways, so
she also does flirt with everybody.
Right, but we also know that she's not just, you know, one side.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So it could mean something for the future of Legends. It probably won't.
That would be very interesting. That's a ship that I've never even saw with.
If that's gonna be the case, then Ray is now turning into what Felicity was in like season 3, where she just like kissed every male on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, Ray will just sleep with the whole team.
Ray's just gonna kiss every lady.
Yeah, I mean, Ray's pretty much been with Heatwave this last couple. You know, they've basically been a thing. They were a couple.
The bromance is strong.
They were a couple.
But yeah, no, I mean that's a ship I never saw happening. But I mean, it'd be cute. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen.
Can I also mention that was it who made the comment now? Is it Cisco mentioning you're the second Rory I know?
Yes. The other one's a dick. Are you a dick?
Love that line.
I'm sorry, Rory is so adorable. I just want to.
Oh my god!
I just see picture cheeks. I mean, he's really so cute. He's so cute, and he's just. But he's so even keeled too. He's just. He's
very level.
He shows emotion when he needs to, but he's just very. And I kind of like that. Kind of brings that stability. Mm-hmm. And did we all notice that Evelyn wasn't there? And
yeah, I mean, Mo Man in chat says, so was Artemis or Evelyn with Prometheus this whole episode?
We don't know.
We're getting Prometheus next episode, so we'll find out.
The last we saw her was with Prometheus, so we could assume that that's where she was.
Yeah, I could assume.
But there's no mention from the team that she's even gone. Like, there was literally zero mention of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, where's Evelyn when we need her, or something? Like, they just didn't even notice she was gone.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah.
Maybe she said, "Oh, I have a family thing to take care of."
I mean, we don't know what she told them, kind of thing. So.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm glad we brought up.
I'm glad we brought up Rory, because I don't know if it was revealed earlier than this, but it's revealed that he's pretty religious and that he is Jewish, and he even knows like this numeric Hebrew that Felicity, who is also Jewish, didn't pick up on.
But knew about.
And that honestly,
But knew about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
but that adds fuel for my theory that the suit's from ancient Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that it is connected to maybe the Hawk people.
The Hawk people.
Could.
But yeah, I thought it was. But doesn't the male boys at a certain age, when they get around 13, they start before their celebration.
Mm-hmm.
They have to study the Torah and stuff. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, if she didn't, I'm pretty sure her mom didn't take her to church. And I'm pretty sure his parents probably did. So it goes to say that you probably recognize it a little more than she would.
Yeah.
Because I don't see her mom taking her to a synagogue anytime soon.
No. But they said it was like numeric Hebrew or something really like obscure.
Every letter has
it doesn't seem like. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. So it was like
every letter has a numeric counterpart to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean that doesn't seem like something that maybe every Jewish person would know. So
no, that's like saying, oh, the alphabet, A is 1, B is 2, like there's a numeric value. That's what it seemed like to me.
Able to recognize it.
Right. But it seems like there's a whole thing around this where it's common knowledge. I wouldn't say common knowledge, but it is knowledge of some sort.
Of like a deeply religious, and if it was his, what they said, was it his great grandfather's suit, his grandfather's suit, and his dad's suit?
Yeah.
There's possibly that they passed this down to him. They passed this information. They passed this obviously the religion part, and they passed the knowledge and stuff like that, and had him teach obviously enough in it that he knows when he sees it.
So I've been thinking this whole time that maybe the way to defeat the aliens is with Supergirl's Medusa disease that we just found, over on Supergirl, but I'm thinking maybe now it's going to be some religious thing that scares them off.
Yeah.
And we don't know much about Rory's past. We know from what little that we've gotten from it, which I want to know the background so bad of the suit, but hopefully we'll get it.
And the code that they found, Rory was saying, like, you wanted proof of divine presence? Here it is. And in my mind, I was just like, yeah, but it's probably aliens.
I mean, how many different things out there are saying, oh, the ancient alien, the gods and stuff that you worship are aliens. Like, you have that whole show on the History Channel that does that. But before that show even existed, we dealt with Stargate. The original movie. I'm not even talking about SG-1 and Atlantis and all that, but the original movie
only one I ever
that
watched.
dealt with ancient Egypt and the fact that these were just technology, playing technology and aliens that were portrayed as gods that ruled over, these people, and they escaped and went to Earth and, lost the knowledge of their stuff along the years. And who's to say that they don't try to incorporate something like that into this? That the aliens were the one that started religion, or who knows? Honestly,
that's probably where they can go with it, because we've gotten from the Hawk people, that's not that their religion was set up by aliens, but aliens influenced them when the meteors struck.
Right.
So, yeah.
I love in chat. Tax says, Barry, if you're reading this, stop fucking with the timeline.
He hasn't fucked with it in 6 episodes, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. Cut him some slack.
We kind of said that yesterday. He needs to just stop it.
I think he's got to do it again.
Someone needs to nail his feet to the floor.
I think he has to do it again.
Someone needs to glue and nail his feet to the floor anytime he has the idea of doing this.
And it's going to weigh so much on him because everything is telling him not to do it, that when he has to do it, it's going to be a big ordeal. And
then we'll get grumpy old man Barry.
No, then we're going to get mad at Barry for not doing it.
And then Cisco's just going to be mad at him for something else. So
Brian, this is not
telling
this is not the movie
Signs.
Once
everybody stops lying, Cisco's going to be all right.
Brian, this is not the movie Signs. Dousing them with water does not stop the aliens.
You don't know that.
We haven't tried yet. That's all I have to say.
Call M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. Ding dong.
So, I actually didn't put much stock in this before I read an article about it, but some people are saying that Felicity and Ollie in the future might get back together because of things that the writers have been saying. And honestly, what the writers have said, I agreed with. One of them said, my biggest regret is I wish we had allowed the Oliver Felicity storyline in season 4 to unfold at a more natural pace. That was the case where the planning overtook the storytelling, and Oliver and Felicity were crammed into 15 episodes, and the season suffered for it. And I know we had a lot of gripes with last season.
Yeah.
Especially around that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they could have been. So what they could have been is not what they ended up being.
Yes, that's true. But I think the reason someone wrote this article after this episode was that there's a lot in Ollie's subconscious that we've seen that goes back to his relationship with Felicity. So when he sees her, most of it is them in season 4.
Yeah. The intimate parts.
There was a line that him and Laurel shared that was a similar line to something him and Felicity said to each other. So people are speculating. I just think it's worth mentioning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're bad for each other. I don't. I think the way they were last season was bad for them. But I don't think they themselves are bad for each other.
And I think the problem I always had with it was people are like, oh, since like season 1, there's been chemistry. And like it rolled around to season 4 where they start getting, or end of season 3 when they start getting involved. I'm like, I just don't see it. I just never saw it.
Yeah.
Really?
No, it was there. It was early seasons. It was very subtle. It was very subtle. You have to be good at picking up on that kind of stuff.
I guess the whole show I've just been like, Ollie, you need to work on yourself. Maybe don't date people anymore.
Well, it was more at first it was more like that little schoolgirl crush kind of thing. Like you have, oh, he's hot kind of thing, And it just kind of, I think the more they got to know each other, the more it grew. So.
You guys have anything else for this episode before I read the synopsis?
Nope.
And there are no spoilers in the synopsis, so don't worry. Just like The Flash.
Except for all the characters that you name that make it through Legends on the next episode.
Yeah. I can pretty safely tell you I don't think anybody's gonna die.
I don't know. I just thought it was a really good episode.
I don't know, I think Laurel's gonna die.
I think they're going to have to deal with what they saw on the alien ship at some time. Yeah. They're going to have to deal with it. And so we'll see how that happens, how that works out.
So next episode is What We Leave Behind. Prometheus makes a deadly move against Oliver and the team. After Prometheus attacks Curtis, Oliver realizes Prometheus knows all of Team Arrow's secret identity and is planning to come for them one by one. Felicity and Detective Malone discover a clue that links Prometheus to Oliver's past, as we have speculated before.
And that will be the midwinter finale.
Yes. So expect a cliffhanger bombshell of that sort. I am expecting it anyway.
I am too. I'm expecting all.
It really seems like the time for them to just drop something and walk away. To like drop the mic and walk away.
Yeah, right. And you're like,
I want to see them like jail Ollie, like the group of them just like take Ollie and throw him in a cell somewhere, and they take over. Just a mutiny. Mutiny.
I don't think that'll happen.
They have cells.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
they kept
Oh, I
Andy.
know.
They kept Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Diggle freaking out when he told him that he
Yeah.
killed Andy. Oh my God,
He almost slit his throat. Yeah,
I know. His head almost popped off, man.
That was heavy. So yeah,
That was intense.
that's it for this episode. Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenon. Rachel, where can they find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Savannah17, posting pictures of cats.
Meow. You can find me at Clio Moto, and you can find all of us at ASO TV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Till next time. Bye.
See you guys later.
In Legends of Tomorrow.
Which is not tomorrow. It is today.
Well, yeah,
It's tonight.
whatever.